College basketball, this is the place to be, of course. Conseco Fieldhouse, which continues to fill up, and we expect by the time this day is over, record crowds here. Their average winning margin over 24 points a game. Tyler Cook is their big guy.
Tyler Cook, 6'5", he's just a junior.
They had to knock off the number 1 team, Bluffton, in the Woodland Sectional, and number 5, Tipton, in the Tipton Regional. And then last Saturday, the number 2 team of the state, Westview, they handled them by 13. He is some kind of a sophomore.
There he is, 6'7", almost 30 points a ball game, 12 rebounds. He had 35 points, 16 rebounds in the semi-state last Saturday. He is just a sophomore, still has 2 years to go, and only 1 senior on this entire Fort Wayne Bishop Luers team.
So Luers, coached by James Blackman. Winchester, coached by Chip Mahaffey. And 3, Winchester has a couple of guys averaging in double digits. Tyler Cook, one of their guards, is averaging 22 points a game. And 44 Brock. Winchester, as I mentioned, they come in here with the record of 23 wins and 3 defeats. For Luers, they got a couple of guys led by Deshaun Thomas at 29.5. And Morris Barnett is what he made at guard, one of 3 guards at 13.9. The other guys that average in double figures. Set to go with this Class 2A title. Jerry Taylor, Tom Rohr, Jay Slater, all set to officiate today's game. And the opening tip in a wild collision, no foul call. Of course, in the whites. The Luers Knights, 23-3. And they'll get a third opportunity if they so desire. They'll take the 3 from Blackman outside, and they foul on the ensuing rebound on Sean Day. Steve Williamson was number 1. And there's a look at James Blackman. 62-28. Not only can he coach last, but he could play.
He still holds the state record, 52 points in the state championship game when his Marion Giants came here in 1983. He scored well.
And they go down inside. Nice defensive play turned in as Deshaun Thomas made a nice pivot move inside, and somebody, I'm not exactly sure who it was, it may have been, who got a piece of that scrum down there.
Now Thomas is left-handed. That is Cook. You see him coming in, and he ran alongside Thomas with number 22, Lucas Wickersham, all over Deshaun Thomas.
And he'll come off for the offensive rebound, put it back up, and have it blocked by Cook again, and a holding foul.
And he's a nice-sized player inside. There's again, Cook comes over from the help side to block Deshaun Thomas's shot. Sean Day gets the board, though, and he gets fouled on the floor. He came into the game, got 25 points. He said, Coach, I want to come up the bench the rest of my career, and that's exactly what they've done. So the first horn, Brock Morrison comes in, averages 15 points a game off the bench.
Good-looking quick shot off Deshaun Thomas from deep in the corner. It's a 3-pointer, and Deshaun Thomas is in the scorebook for the first time, and it's 8-7.
Deshaun Thomas is not afraid to play outside. He makes 3 3-point shots per game. So he can shoot well from the outside, but he's also big and strong inside. Rebound
taken off of one of the small guys out there, Wickersham. Numbers on the break, and they fill the lanes beautifully and get the layup from Lawrence Brock Morrison.
And Jerry, Winchester will do this all game long. They have really earned their way to this championship game, and if they can win this ball game, that's a clean sweep, beating all the other top 5 teams.
Thomas way outside the 3-point mark, nothing doing out there.
The middle a little bit for those layup shots.
They pull up from long range, nothing doing. Rebounds off into the hands of Tyler Cook.
At 22 for Winchester is Lucas Wickersham. He's face guarding Deshaun Thomas all over the floor.
Good rebound taken down by Morrison.
Somebody other than Deshaun Thomas to score for Fort Wayne Luers.
Winchester with a 4-point lead. Here is Thomas going an air ball up there, taken off to the far side of the hoop that time by Clayton Briggs. Not a particularly happy camper in James Blackman as the lead goes to 8 points a bit. With the emotions flowing here. He didn't have much of that in his first game. Backdoor cut, beautiful, and a great defensive play by Deshaun Thomas. Winchester, on the other hand, was preseason ranked. Final shot of the first quarter coming up. Much faster paced game than what we witnessed in the Class A title game. Deshaun Thomas way off the mark, forced the shot, and that'll be the end of the first quarter of play. Point lead for team with the dark uniforms. Winchester, when that ball goes inside, there are just bodies everywhere. effort by Deshaun Thomas. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about if I'm a fan of Thomas, he's really forcing a lot of shots right now. First half of this game, Luers will have Lawrence Barnett, and Kenny Moore, freshman at 5'10", is in the lineup now.
Watch this, 3 guys around him. He goes up right between them, nothing but net.
5 minutes to go, first half. They continue to force it inside to Deshaun Thomas, despite all the company he has in there.
I'll tell you, it's a very unique defense, Jerry. Lucas Wickersham right in front. There he is. Where's Wickersham? Watch it. So every time he moves, Wickersham stays right in the front. He gets help from the back, but when you have a guy playing on your stomach every play, I mean, you just not basketball that way. And Wickersham got called that time for the foul because he guarded up a little too close. But it's a very frustrating defense if you're the player trying to score in that situation.
Thomas forcing a shot again and knocking it home. I mentioned earlier this year we went up to Fort Wayne and did their game with Fort Wayne Luers, Bad Monic from Ohio State. Was there taking a look at this young man even as a sophomore. A lot of schools will be taking an eye on him. Good move inside. Can't get it to fall. Oh, that's a nice move to the hoop that time. He out-faked this man, but Brock Morrison couldn't get anything to happen good for him. So Luers comes back now with the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay in their hand. Trophy that year. But the pace of this game is about 10 times faster than our Class A game was. Nice position inside of the rebound by Cook.
Correction on that last graphic, Jerry. This is the second championship because Winchester's here last year in the state championship game.
They lost that one.
They did lose. I see. Okay, I'm sorry.
Here's the bucket by Thomas. Yeah, last year
play well and get themselves in position to be here again, and they made it.
Nice baseline move by Evan Blackman. That is not the coach's son, it's the coach's nephew, by the way. We've had one tie that was back at 5. 3 lead changes. Winchester has been ahead by 10, and the team fouls already have Winchester, of course, at the line. It's number 9. Long range by Haney. Pull up 15-footer right side, got nothing but net.
He is on fire from that right side. Just a quick dribble and a shot. Let's watch Cook now. He gets it, shot fake, gets the player up on his feet, dribbles to the right, and nothing but net.
Minute 40 to go now. In the first half, pull up 3 from outside off the mark. Season on their opponents rebounding-wise. They pick up about 32 rebounds a game. Almost thrown away, but saved by Blackman. He'll knock it down.
That's a 2, I believe. Now remember, the blue line is a...
Rick Owens, Bobby Jones, Steve Graff, and Chandler Cross are his assistant coaches. Here's the turnover. Here's the move for Kenny Mullen. And the follow-up with Deshaun Thomas.
He threw that off the backboard because he knew Thomas was coming.
12 points down for Thomas. Winchester comes back. Shot deflected by Coon, but they'll get it back and score anyway.
Tyler Cook coming up with that offensive rebound just before the half end.
Storylines as the game went along. This has been just grab hold and hang on.
That's right.
So we've hit the halfway mark. Scored. Cook has 20 and Morrison has 10. We'll get the stats and more highlights, etc. in the halftime show. And we're at halftime of game number 2 for the 2A title. 5-point lead for Winchester's Golden Falcons. Well, Winchester will get the ball to begin the second half. Bacon Laz with you. 5-point lead now for Winchester. They were up by as many as 10 points in the first half. They said his left hand was coming off the ball a little early when he went up to shoot. As they get a bucket at the other end down there by Deshaun Thomas, 14 for him. They went to work. Steve Graff and Bobby Jones, the assistants, went to work with him on that and got it straightened out. Thank goodness for them. Blackman getting his first 3 of the game. Second half just getting underway. The lead stays at 4, 41-37. A 3-pointer being the difference. Now, really it's kind of a gang tackle, if you will, on Deshaun Thomas. The poor guy's got people all his shooting percentage on the year is 50%, so he's not that far off. But early on in the game, he was taking some bad shots. Now they're going to call a blocking foul against Winchester and got the bucket.
Well, Deshaun Thomas is calling for the ball more now down low. Watch, he's going to get the ball even under the basket and able to come back and lay that ball in and a chance for a three-point play.
Foul was on Morrison, number 2 on him. Deshaun Thomas now with 16 points. He scored 4 of the 7 so far in the third quarter.
He averages 21 field goal attempts per game. He makes 10 of them, and right now he's 5 of 12 through the first half.
He's going to be a tough guy to deal with for the next couple of years. Terrible pass intercepted by Deshaun Thomas, and they get to the other end and get the bucket from Barnett.
And with this steal by Thomas and layup by Barnett, the first lead Bishop Luers has had now by 1. How quickly this game can change. When you play in an up-tempo game like this is what can happen. It goes back and forth. Whereas a slow-paced game of even a 5-point lead is huge. As I look at Deshaun Thomas, Jerry, a few names come to mind. George McGinnis on that 69 state champ team of Washington. Jared Jeffries, Zach Randolph, Sean May. I mean, these are guys that had great college careers and led their high school teams as well, and that's exactly what Deshaun Thomas is doing.
And he's built like a young man right now.
He's built bigger than his age,
yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
And get his rebound in.
A 3-point field goal. Evan Blackman. Blackman has 2 buckets this quarter, and they've both been threes.
Look at the score as a player. You just keep playing the same style games, offense and defense. Look at that play by Cook. That quick play by Cook. He's got one-on-one with Blackman, gets around him and dumps it. Amount of time on the clock. They just go up and down, up and down. It is sure fun to.
And the pace that you're looking at right now has been pretty much in vogue since the opening tip-off of this game. And here's a traveling violation, turnover on Luers. And what John and I are really, the way we're reacting, you think, well, what's going on? Well, the first game was such a slow-paced game between 2 teams that just...
He may get to 40 here before we know it, Jerry.
3 off the mark, chased down by one of the smallest guys out there. Ward fakes the pass and got the bucket. 9-19 now, third quarter, 53-50 in favor of Winchester. They're on the defensive side of the ball right now. Wide open look on the far side by Blackman.
See what happens when you double team like that on Thomas. Somebody's got to be open, and Thomas found. Here's the double team on Deshaun Thomas, and that leaves Blackman open on the right wing, and he's able to hit it.
30-second timeout taken by Fort Wayne Bishop Luers. John Smiley, Mitch Stern, Darrell Arnold, the assistant for head coach James Blackman. Matt Lindsay is the athletic director at Fort Wayne Luers. Steve Howell, as I mentioned, at Winchester. Barry Kiefer, the principal at Luers. And Tom Osborne, the principal at Winchester High School. Here's a little note on James Blackman, 83 grad of Marion, Grant County scoring leader, 83 All-Star, led the Giants to the state final. They lost to Anderson, double overtime, 89-87. Last pointed out earlier, 52 points in that game, still a state finals record. He finished up with 1,897 for his career. He was named to the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame Silver Anniversary team earlier this week, John.
It was on Wednesday. I had a chance to go to that dinner, and quite a week for James Blackman to be inducted in the 25 year.
25 seconds of the third quarter. Wide open left wing. They can't hit it from this side. They need to get to the other side. And here's going to be a blocking foul called against Winchester.
All right, here's the play. Outside shot taken by Kuhn is off, but look at the rebound. Barnett takes it up, draws the foul, so he is at the...
And he missed him both. So that's pretty much going to take care of the third quarter. In fact, it will. So hang on, folks. We got 8 more minutes of exciting basketball. This game is a long way from being decided. The 2A championship games we'll have for you throughout the day here on the Indiana Cable Network. Luers.
Look at Winchester, 55% from the field. They are having a wonderful offensive night. There's not a lot of pressure on these Luers players when they take these shots, and they're able to hit them.
That was Amos had only 10 3-pointers coming into the game today.
That foul's going to go on to Deshaun Thomas. He was in good position, and Tyler Cook just took it right up, and the foul was on the body. Deshaun grabbed the ball but they said the foul came.
He has been very impressive in a very quiet fashion. He's not been working over hard to get shots. They're just there, and when they're there, he takes them. If they're not there, he dishes it out. Here's a foul on Deshaun, so after getting his first one of the game, he gets the second one just a matter of seconds later.
A good smart play by Brock Morris, and he felt Thomas's pressure there and dribbled.
1-point ball game has been as high as 10, with Winchester on top by 10. They turn it over. And oh, what a great dive that time, and what a terrific save. That was Wickersham who made the dive to knock that three-shot away. Wow.
That could be the play of the game right there.
That could well be, John. You're right.
That could have been a layup, and Wickersham just went out in prone position to knock that ball away. Let's watch the play here. What a great steal. Anticipation by Barnett. Before he goes out of bounds, he flips it over to Blackman, and look at the steal by Wickersham. One of his teammates hustles it down, and then a near steal again, and foul on Luers.
And how about that backdoor cut on the feed by Haney again? Quickly up, Corey Thomas will get the roll, get the bucket, go to the line.
He's just so strong inside. He's got good hands. He gets that ball and takes it straight up. And it's still a one-point game with Deshaun Thomas, a chance to tie it up right here.
The personal foul. Here's that last bucket by Winchester.
The back cut. Cook right there, lays it in, but quickly Luers brings the ball up. Deshaun Thomas, a 75% free throw shooter. There's James Blackman. Well, you got to be careful when you and a teammate are fighting for the ball. There's two Bishop Luers players there, and knocked it out of bounds. So a silly turnover and gives Winchester another possession.
Fifth tie of the game. We're tied at 60 right now with 6.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Got it into Cook. The defensive assignment belongs to Blackman. Blackman all over him, just going wherever Cook wants to go. He is right there with him. Here's the long range three. Off the mark this time. Cook maybe a little out of his range, and they throw it away at the other end.
And Barnett threw it behind Deshaun Thomas. And that's one of the rare turnovers that Bishop Luers has had.
9.
There, hit that shot.
Nobody went out on Amos. This time he couldn't get it done, but the rebound is picked up by Blackman, and his score.
Wedged himself between two Winchester defenders and got that layup. The scoring is fast and furious, and Chef Mahaffey wants a timeout.
Well, here we go now. There's a good look at the head coach, James Blackman. Blackman's fourth year at the school. Over the last 5 years, they've gone 66 and 44. From 2001-2 season to 2003-4, they were 15 and 47. School had a record of 4 and 16. 3 and 17, 8 and 14. He's done a terrific job up there turning this program around.
Now the job you want to look to and say
finals, and he has. But what he's done is turned the whole program around up there. Nice save by Cook, and a long outlet pass to Brock Ward. Here's the ball out of bounds. It'll stay on the hands of Winchester.
Deshaun Thomas had a switch that time, went over to pick Cook up and deflected that ball out of bounds.
Knights support Wayne Bishop Luers. And I think it's a pretty good timeout because you're getting to the point of the game now. Did Blackman call a timeout?
He did just before that ball came in bounds. He wanted another timeout. Didn't like what he saw on that out of bounds play. So
as Mr. Blackman takes the timeout, so will we. James Ball Club is locked up at 64 with Winchester's Golden Eagles.
Special out of bounds play. He wants to run here to try to get that lead. 3 minutes to go for the state championship.
Well, the guy who takes the ball in is a lot of times the guy you got to watch for. In that case, it was Deshaun Thomas, who went right back to him, but he couldn't get it to work. Last time the school won titles in football and boys basketball was 2002 and 3 when Qatar did it. See what Winchester's got in mind, lads. They're in no particular hurry.
All of a sudden, a slower pace by both teams, Jerry.
Drive inside by Haney, rejected. We'll come back the other way with Blackman. Good pass, near side, way up, yes. Just hang on, because we've got the final minute 18 of this 2A championship game. with John Laskowski. This is Jerry Baker. The rest of our crew on hand here at Ezekiel Fieldhouse today. Appreciate all their hard work. Gary Moore, our stat guy, keeping us totally informed statistically of what's going on. And John, big possession now for Winchester.
Decides to do.
Very quick comment from Todd.
Hey, Jerry, Coach Mahaffey was just talking about he wants to see the guys going inside, slashing just like that.
Oh, my goodness, we're going to call travel. No bucket.
Brock Morrison made an unbelievable shot. And Deshaun Thomas will try to block it. Let's watch it. Here's the play inside. And Winchester calls timeout. Winchester thinks it's a three-point play, and Deshaun Thomas thought it was traveling.
I don't know if we can see that again or not, lad. What I'm not sure of, did somebody touch the basketball here? Right here. Is the ball touched?
They're saying he came down before the ball left his hand. And that's the reason for the travel.
But I guess my point was, if the ball was touched by the defender, then that would negate the traveling violation.
That is true. That is true. Let's see from this angle. The ball wasn't touched, and they're going to call it travel. Let's see.
Now, if he gets it away before he comes back down, no harm, no foul.
Now, there it looks like he had both feet off the ground still.
Oh, what a big
ball. That could have been a turn of events. Huge. Right now, though, it's going to be Bishop Luers' ball.
All kinds of pressure in backcourt as Luers is having trouble getting it across the line. And because of that trouble, they want a timeout.
Timeout, Bishop Luers, full timeout. Full timeout.
Tickets available at Ezekiel Fieldhouse. At least last we heard they were. $10 gets you in for both games tonight. Now you got to play defense, and if you're Luers, you want a bucket.
Not a bad play by Winchester. They needed to stop that clock. It's a 1-on-1. The last time, big creature right here for Lawrence Barnett. 62% on the year.
He is 4 out.
Once you know you've missed 4 in a row, that's what you're thinking about. And somehow that young man made that next one, didn't think about those last 4. That's a big shot right there.
On him.
84% Tyler Cook. Boy, the two coaches we just saw, Chip Mahaffey.
Seconds ago was the biggest lead they've had in the entire game. Now they're up by a deuce with 25. They did. So we'll keep an eye on the situation and just set it up for you. You're looking into the huddle of Fort Wayne Bishop Luers. Trying to pick up their 13th state championship. Now, no more timeouts for Luers. 1 for Winchester. Could be big. They've won 7 state football championships. They've won 8. Let me just double check here his numbers. He is 7 for 10 from the free throw line with 17 points. Barnett averages 14 a game. If he makes them both, John, it's still only a 1-possession game.
Absolutely. He looks pretty cool right there. 8 of 11 now. There's the
game when Deshaun appeared to be a little bit playing out of character, but Barnett was kind of a steadying influence even at the outset of the game.
Yes, he really has been.
They missed it. Rebound comes off to Winchester. Let's see what they've got. They've got plenty of time to run a play. They don't need the 3 now.
They call the set play. Looking at Coach Mahaffey.
They're going to go right to the hoop, and they will miss the shot. Rebound comes off, and that's going to be your ball game. It's all over, and Luers has won it by a final score of 69-67. Now they ran the play they wanted, but credit Luers. That was a nice defensive job.
Deshaun Thomas comes over, and Morrison has to back away so that Deshaun Thomas doesn't block the shot. Then the rebound comes right to Thomas before they can foul him or get a jump ball. Time expired, but give the Luers defense credit there as they forced Morrison to move away from the basket instead of leading into it, and now it's Deshaun Thomas coming over to block that shot.
Let's check the winning coach. Let's go back over once again. Here's Todd.
Coach is shaking hands right now and a second.
And Deshaun Thomas with 20 points.
Both teams exchanging handshakes there, and we couldn't really get to Coach Blackman. He wanted to congratulate the Winchester team on a wonderful effort. You talk about a wild and crazy game, Jerry. This was something to watch.
Yeah, it was. We had two games where two teams mirrored each other, but they were 180 degrees apart in the way they approached the game.
Very exciting game, and I hate to see any one of these two teams lose, but you can tell Luers with the smiles, they're the winners.
Well, let's try it again. Here's Todd.
Thanks, Jared. We're down here with Coach Blackman. Coach, what a heck of a game.
Tough games. I tip my hat to those guys. Winchester came in. They had a great game plan. They made every possession on the offense really difficult for us. They did a good job as far as scouting our team. I tip my hat to our guys. We kept our composure early. We got down, and it was a hard-fought game, and we made big plays when we needed to.
How does this compare to you as a player playing in the state finals?
Oh, man, as a player, you seem like you have more control. As a coach, sometimes you try to give them the direction. You try to give them the plays. Sometimes you sit there in a helpless situation, sitting on the sideline. But I tip my hat to our guys. They did a great job.
Has Thomas seen defense like that throughout the season, and he responded pretty well in the second half?
We talked about keeping our composure. There's a lot of gimmick defenses thrown at Deshaun. They put guys, 2 or 3 guys on him. We faced that starting in the section of the box and one, but the other guys are stepping up. When other guys step up and make big shots, it's kind of hard to key on one guy. I thought tonight the other guy stepped up and made shots, and when Deshaun had an opportunity to get a clean look,